You're listening to Goons, Games, and Gear, the sexiest gaming podcast in the world.
Hey, it's Goons, Games, and Gear. We're here together. We're going to discuss Game Informer's greatest games of all time, which
just released this like an
hour ago. That's right.
Recording.
So kind of excited.
I have some words. All right. Hello Kitty Island Adventure isn't even on this list.
What if it is? I think, wait,
what? Oh my god.
1 million votes? No. So yeah, I always want to go over it. We're probably gonna have different opinion. I really think we have a difference of opinion on the game of all time. Greatest game of all time. I mean, obviously spoilers on the screen, but there's over 200,000 votes. And you know, Derek Robb, I we'll talk about it later, but I view it changed purely from what Derek has played of it. But but I guess what we'll do is anyone who's listening to this audibly, because this is gonna be a podcast episode, highly recommend that you watch the video version on Spotify or YouTube.
Right.
But
or just at least look up the image so you know what we're talking about.
Right, exactly. So, but we'll say what the matchups are. So this might be a lengthy one, but let's get started. So the first matchup was Witcher 3 Wild Hunt versus Silent Hill 2. Now I don't know how this was how these games were picked.
Right. I don't know how they initially selected all of these games.
Right.
But like Witcher's a seed 1 pick versus Silent Hill's like a seed 16 pick. It's set up like a March Madness bracket for those who haven't looked at it. I really have no preference on either of those, to be honest. Witcher 3 I've never played through.
Yeah, I know you played it a little bit, right?
I've restarted that game 7 times. Like multiple times when the base game came out, then the complete came out, but you couldn't use your original save.
You got on the Switch,
restart. Right? Yeah. And then I bought it on the Switch, and it was in 480p. So, you know.
Mud edition. I will always say those are the mud version.
Right. But then Silent Hill 2 I have played. It is a banger. It's a good horror game, but it's also like lost in time, I feel like. Maybe when the remake comes out, I bet you that opinion might have swayed a little bit more, but I'm
not surprised that Witcher 3 won this.
Right.
Silent Hill 2 is a classic. It's like a horror classic. Right. You know, I've never played Silent Hill 2, and I only watched Witcher 3. I just couldn't get into it.
Right.
But I could see it. Witcher 3, like everyone loves it. Most part loves, you know, when they played it, like the RPG elements and everything. So like I can understand why it won that matchup. You know, personal preference. If that went against like Oblivion, I'd be like Oblivion. Don't even, you know.
Right.
But you know that I'm not saying it's a bad game. It's just not a game for us.
Right.
That's
I'd like to play through it at some point. Right. I know I would like that game if I just like actually stuck it out and gave it a chance. But yeah, so Witcher won that one, which makes sense.
The next one, Halo Combat Evolved versus Wind Waker,
makes me so happy. But
that is such a great
that is a hard.
That's a fight of titans. That is a fight of the titans.
I think also, spoiler alert, I think all 3 Halos are on here.
I'm not surprised by that. I mean, they're classics.
They're all bangers, right? Yeah.
I'm somewhat shocked. I mean, Combat Evolved kicked the Halo series off, but
it was iconic for being like the first-person shooter, pretty much.
But I think everyone now looks back at Wind Waker and says, this is a banger of a Zelda game. We were wrong when it came out.
Right. Everybody appreciates Wind Waker now. If this was even 2 years ago, I would say Halo destroyed it. But yeah, Wind Waker won that one. I'm super happy about that. That's my favorite Zelda game. So,
and you know, I wonder if they're taking Wind Waker as a whole or specifically the GameCube version. Because I would have said HD if it was
the HD version, right? Yeah, I'm trying to see if any say the enhanced editions or anything.
It doesn't.
But Pokemon says red and blue, not fire red,
right?
Like leaf green, right? So,
but yeah, I'm happy that Wind Waker won it. I would. Man, that is such a toss-up for me. I'll be honest.
I'm glad it's on the list, too, right? Like they could have picked whatever.
I guess we'll just keep going down and then second tier. You know,
we'll do first brackets and then second brackets.
Right. Okay. Okay. So next up was Marvel Spider-Man versus. Oh wait, I'm sorry. I'm going ahead of myself. It was Final Fantasy VI and Marvel Spider-Man. I don't know.
6 was good, but yeah, I mean Spider-Man, I feel like blows that out of the water.
Oh, good. Oh, yeah.
Final Fantasy wise, nobody looks back and is like, wow, 6. Except for the diehard fans. Everybody's like, no, 7. Final Fantasy 7, right? I mean, I think that's just like an easy choice. Like,
I never,
such a banger
I
now.
never played a single Final Fantasy. That might be my like subathon goal. I finally play every Final Fantasy game in chronological order. So yeah, I can see that winning. That's just Mario Spider-Man was just like the best superhero game that we've seen in a long time when it released.
Right. It was on par with like the Arkham Knight game and or
I can see that
stuff. Right. Like,
yeah,
it was just so good. It like you felt like Spider-Man.
Yeah,
again.
exactly. Mass Effect 2 versus Dune 2016. Oh, okay. So I'm happy that Mass Effect 2 won that.
Mass Effect 2, I look back at that series and Mass Effect 2 is the one I'm like,
oh yeah, that's
game of a decade.
Right.
There,
yeah,
right?
that was
like,
the suicide mission.
Oh my God,
just
everything about that. All the characters, the companions in that one were just so good. Like 3 was like the ending ruined it, basically, the original.
They had to literally fix it.
Right.
They had to come out with an update. I honestly hope Mass Effect 3 isn't on this list. Because I don't think it deserves it.
No, absolutely not.
You know? But Andromeda needs to be on it.
Yeah.
So let's see. Well, so versus Dune, but Dune 2016, from what I've heard, is like a banger of just like it's a great game. Like just
2016 was amazing. I'm surprised, and I don't know if it's on the list, but like the original Doom, I guess 2016 was just like a better version of all of the previous ones, right? So I could see it being considered for this list. But yeah, like Mass Effect 2 definitely deserves that.
Yeah, 100%. Red Dead Redemption 2 versus Castlevania Symphony of the Night. I don't see a world where Red Dead doesn't win.
I feel like that's a really unfair matchup. But yeah, Red Dead absolutely polarizes Castlevania.
Like, why was this the one I played in Scene 1? Yeah, like I still need to actually beat Red Dead Redemption 2. It's just
I never finished
I'm gonna do it on PC at some point. I just can't play on console because the frames just piss me off. And they never came out with a next gen update. Symphony of the Night I've heard just great things about. I've seen gameplay. But like,
it's just like
Red Dead Redemption 2 is known.
It has that like issue that like Silent Hill 2 has, right? Is like it's just dated, but like it's still good. Like I'd say Symphony of the Night probably holds up better than Silent Hill 2, but like I don't know, it was good for the time. It's great to look back on, but I don't know.
But what we have is Shadow of the Colossus versus World of Warcraft.
Dude, this I'm super happy about. I love Shadow of the Colossus.
I'm actually surprised by this.
I am too. I can't believe it beat out World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft back in the day, like its heyday,
right.
Not many. There's a lot of people who don't know what Shadow of the Colossus is. Like, I don't know. I feel like that's a crazy swing vote there, right? Like,
right. No, yeah. So Shadow of the Colossus. I mean. But Shadow of the Colossus is cool, like just a great experience.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then but World of Warcraft was just a classic Titan for years.
Yeah.
That was a monster of an MMO. It's petered out like immensely these past few years, but
yeah, they kind of like I don't know. Blizzard like fell apart, so it like it fell with it. So
yeah, I'm happy to see Shadow of the Colossus at least win that. Yeah. Kingdom Hearts 2 versus Mario 64. That's a battle of titans right there.
But like obviously like Mario, it's another thing of like I like a lot of more people know Kingdom Hearts more than Shadow of the Colossus, but not many people still have like played Kingdom Hearts. I feel like right, like everybody's aware of it, and knows it's like a good series, but like Mario 64 is Mario 64, right?
Right.
Like Mario 64 could be contender to win the whole thing, honestly. So.
Right. It just unfortunately the controls like going back to play that game is a challenge.
It's hard. It's very dated. It's very hard to go back and play that game like now.
I couldn't agree more. There we go.
Next up is Last of Us Part 2.
Okay. Lose. Tell me loses.
And then Metroid Prime. Metroid Prime.
I love it. I love that. That only confirms that Last of Us Part 2 was trash.
Right. Nobody liked that game.
Trash.
And the fact that it's even on this like
list.
Game Informer greatest game of all time list. Come on. Like you obviously didn't play the same game everybody else did. Or your glasses are so fogged up.
Dude, you didn't like Abby the video game?
No.
That's interesting.
No.
And Metroid Prime, I mean, like Metroid, I don't know if it has like the fan base that, well, no, maybe it has a higher fan base than Last of Us. But Last of Us Part 1, which better be on this list.
Last of Us Part, it is.
Okay.
Last of Us Part 1 is a game I look at and am like, that's a game of like all time, right?
Right.
Last of Us Part 2, I'm like, that's a game I look at and I'm like, stinker of all time.
But like, yeah, I'm genuinely concerned like whenever 3 happens that it's going to be trash. So it's hilarious.
I'm hoping it's a prequel.
What's even crazier to me is that it lost in the first round.
Oh yeah,
you know,
they were like, no, we're stopping this. It gets no praise. Wind Waker's a better game than Last of Us Part 2.
So, all right, next up is bracket 2 or region 3. I guess we'll do.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what these are regions mean, but
Ocarina of Time versus Modern Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. That's such a weird like fight.
Again, it's like a weird matchup, like Red Dead versus Castlevania. Like that. That's what I see with this, but. Like, obviously...
I would see a lot losing to Modern Warfare, that classic Modern Warfare, right? But Ocarina of Time is just such
it's the game everybody remembers, everybody talks about, right?
Everyone remembers, but I would argue that they're not... They haven't played it.
Yeah. Go play it in 2024. It's a bad game. It's a bad game now.
Hold on, I'm not sure if I was going to say, it just hasn't held up well.
Right. It's a bad game now.
But the 3DS remasters, I would argue.
Good. Oh, yeah. They a lot of good, like, updates.
Right.
Yeah. But Call of Duty 4, like, that was what? Like,
that was the classic.
There was really no Call of Duty before that, right? It was like Modern Warfare, Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, like... And then, like, after that, like, in between was, like, Black Ops going on at the same time and World at War.
That was an explosive time.
Oh, my God, yeah. Call of Duty was on top of the world.
Right. So, but, like, that was still a titan of a game.
Oh, yeah.
That, I would say a lot of this, if it went up against the first round, Modern Warfare would win. Yeah. But, yeah, I don't know what would beat Ocarina of Time in this situation.
Right.
Halo 3 versus GTA 5.
I hate that. I hate that they put those two against each other. Put Castlevania against Grand Theft Auto. Because you know all the GTA fans are smother Halo 3.
I don't know if this is a hot take, but I genuinely think Halo 3 is a better game.
Absolutely.
Like the
GTA, I will stick by my guns. GTA just like is not fun.
It's not a fun game anymore.
Right.
It's just like the online definitely sucks.
The online's terrible.
The characters were really great in GTA 5.
The campaign was fun, right? But like then you had the same game for 20 years and released it 7 times, and now I'm just mad.
Right.
And that's all you do, Rockstar.
Halo 3, like no one says, man, I love the GTA 5 soundtrack, but Halo 3,
right. It's literally an iconic thing. The campaign, I could literally like play through the campaign in my head.
Right.
Like the multiplayer for Halo 3, like you talk about Call of Duty 4, Halo 3 multiplayer. Oh my God! Getting the Hayabusa armor online, like
the ending, the Halo 3, just the 4-player co-op campaign,
explosion,
dude. That was like
4-player co-op. Like no games were doing that at that time. Come on,
and me, was it? I think it was me and Brandon actually talked about recently that Halo 3, like if you think about it, had like no server issues.
Never. There was never online issues
it was
with
like,
Halo 3.
Yeah. The only issue I can remember is lag switching when it was actually a thing.
Right. But that's like outside of their control,
right, exactly.
Like that's a thing someone's doing, right? But like servers for Halo 3
we're just it's like, is that me? It's like perfect. It's the last minute detail.
Right.
That game to me would be arguably one of the arguably greatest game of all time. Getting knocked out first round is an injustice.
Oh yeah.
It's a real shame. Resident Evil 4 2005 versus Pac-Man. I mean,
like Resident Evil 4, it's another one of those games everybody talks about.
Right.
And like it's weird. They put the original too. So like even that one, like everybody talks about that game. Pac-Man, like everybody knows
everyone knows
Pac-Man. Like I'm not mad to ever play Pac-Man, but like
it's not a greatest game of all time.
Iconic, yes.
I would argue it's like a greatest game of all time arcade style.
Right.
Like arcade games. But like in this kind of, I don't think it even should. I'm not sure about being here, but like it makes sense to get knocked out first round.
Yeah,
Resident Evil 4, obviously the superior game.
Yeah,
that would be an intense upset. God of War 2018 versus Uncharted 4: Thief's End. You're gonna have to tell me about the Uncharted 4 because
it's a really good end to the series. Like it concluded everything. Like it was a really just phenomenal story. But I don't know that it's hard for me too because like. everybody just cares about the new God of War, right? But like the first 3 were bangers, right? Like God of War 3 fighting Zeus.
That's my
right.
Dude,
I can tell you right now, spoiler alert, God of War 3 is not on this list of greatest games of all time. Yeah, I know.
No, wait.
It's
I don't believe
there.
you. Hold on.
It's not there. So like for them to just be like God of War 2018, like, I mean, it was great. I can't really remember much of that game though, compared to like God of War 3. I can like visibly remember from the second you start that game, you're like on the Titans and just like climbing Mount Olympus.
I narrowed my top 3 games of all time before this was I mean, unless I'm missing something. For me it was Binding of Isaac Repentance, obviously not gonna be on this list, but
right?
That's Injustice. Smash Ultimate, and then I said God of War 3. That dude, that game looked like a PS5 game on PS3. The graphics on that are fucking wild.
Cutscenes are amazing.
Yeah.
The amount of like time I put into God of War, like 1, 2, and 3 too, like replaying them over and over again, like it was just so nice. I don't know,
dude. I would kill for a PC port of the trilogy.
Oh my god!
And I just play 3. That game, I would be like, okay, I'm getting 100%. That's just
right.
Yeah, it was just so good.
Yeah.
But I don't like. I think God of War 3 is way better than this new one or the new series.
Right.
But I guess I can see
comparatively, I guess so. I will say Uncharted 4 is probably the best of the Uncharted games. Like it had a really good story.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it like had a really good story to it, like outside of like just like the treasure hunting and stuff like that. Like all the characters had like character, it felt like. Other than Drake, like all the side characters and Sully and stuff, but I understand God of War beating it, so like I'm not upset, but
I'm upset that God of War 3 isn't on here, and that's the real Injustice.
The real Injustice is the next 2 games.
I think it's hilarious.
The second game is
Chrono
Trigger versus League of Legends.
Look, but
I mean, technically, it's like Pac-Man though, right? Everybody knows League of Legends. Not everybody plays League of Legends.
Not everybody hates themselves that much. Right. But like, if you think of League of Legends in compared to like an actual game with narrative,
I would say here's how I see it and why it could be on this list is like you look at the MOBA genre, you think League of Legends, right?
Oh yeah,
that's
right,
like,
exactly.
For those people, that's the greatest game of all time, right? Like,
right. But
in the world of these games, though, no,
not Chrono Trigger, right?
Yeah, but Chrono Trigger won that, so I mean, cool, yeah. League's not a game for everybody, so
yes, it is.
I understand it. So next one I'm super excited about: Knights of the Old Republic, Star Wars, and the Animal Crossing: New Horizons. I feel like New Horizons makes sense. Never mind. I was gonna say why like not the GameCube, but New Horizons literally saved us during quarantine.
Okay, that's the newest one.
Yeah. Okay. So like it definitely like everybody was playing that to interact with each other, and it literally came out like a day before quarantine, so it like came out literally the perfect
Nintendo planned it all? Question.
Honestly, this big scheme. But Knights of the Old Republic one, and that's
objectively better game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look,
Knights of the Old Republic, I can like one of those games I can visibly like play in my head and like from start to finish and just like oh my god, I could play it countless times and just like enjoy it every second.
New Horizon, yeah, great, like cozy simulator.
New Horizon's great, right? And like I said, like the timing of it like could not have been better. Like it literally, we were locked in our houses and like interacting with each other online, and
I never got it. I'm just not like
right.
This is not my kind of game, but I can see the appeal.
Right, but like otherwise, I mean, like I could never go back to today. Animal Crossing.
Really?
Yeah.
If a new one came out.
If a new one came out, yes, but like New Horizons, it's not a game I could go back and like replay, right? Like start again or something. Like a lot of these games I could go back. Like the next one's Super Mario World versus Fallout New Vegas. Like those games I could go back and like replay Mario World countless times.
These next 2 matchups are insane to me. But Super Mario World versus New Vegas, dude. I'm not sure this is a hot take, but I think New Vegas is a better game. But Mario World is just an incredible classic.
Yeah, right. Like
I would have like that would have been a hard choice if I was voting, but I would have went with New Vegas because of like, it's just like the experience comparatively to Mario World.
Right.
I don't know. It is hard. It's just a hard matchup. But I'm not surprised Super Mario won. But I personally think New Vegas should have. It's just like New Vegas is a class. It's arguably like the best Fallout game.
Right.
And it's not even made by Bethesda, or it's
Right.
Obsidian.
Obsidian.
Yeah, Obsidian. So I'm not surprised by this. Mario is going to probably just sweep all first round picks.
Yeah,
but
I think if the bracket was also set up differently, some of these outcomes might have been different as well, right? Like if Fallout New Vegas was against like Chrono Trigger, like I think Fallout would be better or something, right? So
this next matchup, Baldur's Gate 3 versus Mario Bros. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. There's two things I don't like about this. One, I don't think we should have put Baldur's Gate on the list. I think this should have been up to like 2022, maybe. Right. I hate when people put games that are basically that have been recently released and put it on like a list like this. That's because like you need time to let it settle in. Right. It's because it's been years since part 2, and I could trash that game, But Baldur's Gate 3, yes, critical acclaim, everyone loves it. But like we need time to look back and say, was it really that great of a game?
Right.
Like it's so messed up for Smash Ultimate to lose in the first round. Like it was such a insane.
We will never get a game like that. Well, I guess Fortnite, but like Smash, like we'll never get a fighting game like that ever again.
It was just a cruel like. I did not expect that to lose first round. I'm glad it's on the list, but I think it just sucks. Of all the games it went against, Baldur's Gate 3, because that's so it's on the newer side.
Like I was saying, like if this bracket was set up differently, I think it might have. I don't think the end would have been a different outcome, but like these first two tiers of it would have been like way different.
Right.
So,
do you want to do the next line, or do you want to go?
Okay. First brackets.
Okay, so this one in region 2 is Last of Us, which is now called Part 1, versus Dragon Age Origins. So just a free win.
Yeah, I mean, Dragon Age Origins is great, but like I do not think of that game when I think of greatest game of all time. And I think there are people that do, and that's why they continue the series, right? It's like an EA staple, I feel like, that they'll always keep making. But I
remember I got Origins, I think it was for Christmas. I'm like, wow, this sucks. Maybe it just wasn't my kind of game, but
Origins I liked, 2 I hated, and then Inquisition I just couldn't get into.
Might have been Inquisition, actually.
But I like the first one was the only one I actually liked. So it's a good game, but I think there's better RPGs out there that do what it did better.
But Last of Us, like
I said, I think I look back at Last of Us on PS3. I look back at Last of Us and I'm like, this was literally 10 out of 10 game forever. Nothing will ever change it. Right.
That was an experience. Super Metroid versus Portal 2.
I like that Portal 2 won. Portal 2 won that.
I'm not surprised.
I like that Portal 2 won. That's all I really have to say about that one.
Portal 2 is just a great game. It's like, I think, isn't it just like one of the best puzzle games of all time?
Yeah.
It's just like
it's a really good co-op experience.
Oh, that's
Gladys is like one of the greatest evil villains we've ever gotten of all time. Is Gladys technically
a villain in the second one? Isn't it more like an anti-hero? Because he helps you, but I guess it's only for her own
right. Yeah, she helps through until the end. We get a banger song at the end, the cake song. I don't know. Like Valve, one of those publishers that doesn't make a game ever, and then it's like a banger when it comes out. So.
Architect. That's
we don't know. That's where we stream Infinity War for free on Twitch now.
I'm sorry. Yeah, but I'm not surprised Portal 2 won. Yeah. Although, anyway, next up is BioShock versus Minecraft. BioShock beat Minecraft?
Yeah.
I don't know how to feel about that. I actually don't know how to feel about that.
So I love BioShock, but I don't agree with that. I think when you think greatest games of all time, I look back and I'm like, yeah, Minecraft, dude. We don't get the amount of merch or anything for BioShock that we do Minecraft. So
right, and BioShock basically has gone kind of downhill since the first one. I bet 2 is controversial from what I've heard, and then I heard all right things from about what's the last one called?
Infinite.
Infinite, right?
Yeah. But
Minecraft is like
though?
a classic.
I
That
know.
is now. I mean, maybe because everyone's like, "Oh, would you kindly?" Like they have that kind of nostalgic glasses on.
Right, maybe.
I mean, yeah, BioShock has a great or has a good, interesting story and a great setting.
Right,
It's
it's a
very
good horror
unique.
game.
Right.
It's definitely iconic, but like
I'm just
to beat out Minecraft. I don't know.
Really. Maybe everyone just during the voting was like, "I'm pretty burned out of Minecraft, so I'm going to vote BioShock."
Maybe maybe that.
Yeah, so I'm surprised by that. I personally would have put Minecraft. I think is a better game, but Final Fantasy X versus Batman Arkham City. I can't tell you about Final Fantasy, but Arkham City is an intense. That was probably the last. That was it was Arkham City. Now I know I haven't really played Arkham Knight that much, but like from what I heard, it's like all right. I know the Batmobile mechanic kind of like
they hyped the Batmobile, but it was stupid.
Right.
But the story was really good.
Oh, but Arkham City just that's a classic.
Right.
That one's a banger. Ooh, that game is great. And I was gonna say, like that, and then the next great banger I would argue is Spider-Man.
Right.
But I'd never played Final Fantasy X, so you'd have to elaborate.
I mean, it's one of the more iconic Final Fantasies, but like it's again one of those things that like not everybody played.
Okay.
So but Arkham City, everybody played that. Like if you owned a 360 or PS3, you played that game.
That game was
and Asylum. So
that game, God, I'd love to go back. I'd love for us to do a series playthrough, Origin 1 and then Asylum.
Yeah,
You know?
get the collection.
Yeah,
for the Switch. For the Switch.
Yeah, for the Switch. Always for the Switch.
Yeah. Everything we play is on Nintendo console.
I'm making a second channel called Mud.
My time with Switch.
My time with Switch. Mud review.
Yeah.
Okay, so next up is Bloodborne versus Tetris. That is such a cruel matchup.
That is, and Tetris won though. Like
I've only heard the only thing I hear about Bloodborne. I never played it, unfortunately. All I hear is when are we getting a remaster? That's all I hear about.
Right. It's crazy to me. Most people you ask about Bloodborne, they're like, I don't want a sequel. I literally just want the game 60 frames on a new system or PC or whatever. Right. And isn't that just wholesome or doesn't that speak to how perfect Bloodborne was?
And I think the creator or something, or one of the directors, we hear all the fan back and we're so happy everyone wants us to do more with it. It's
yeah, I actually think that Sony is holding it hostage is the problem, and they're like, no, we can't give that away.
Why?
That's
just
make something else.
I feel bad for Bloodborne. That's a cruel matchup, because Tetris is it still the best selling game of all time, or is it now Minecraft? I'm not sure.
I think it's GTA, isn't it?
Oh, maybe. But Tetris is just a phenomenal classic.
The battle royale they did.
Oh, that was also
is they always Tetris always does these really cool things to keep it kind of relevant, and there's a hardcore fan base for that.
Oh yeah,
that competitive play, speed runs, whatever. I don't know. It makes sense, but it's just sad.
It's Bloodborne really got the short end of the stick.
Right.
So then it's Metal Gear Solid, which I assume is the first one.
Yeah.
Versus Street Fighter 2. Wow, Metal Gear Solid won? Holy crap! I was expecting Street Fighter 2. Street Fighter 2 is known as one of the
best fighting games
ever made. There are 8 billion different editions of it.
Right. I have no preference, I guess, for this one, but I'm surprised that Street Fighter 2 didn't win, but maybe because it's a fighting game. But Street Fighter 2 has that iconic nostalgia glasses on for it, right?
I mean, I have it on a Switch and it runs great, but
right.
I feel like it's just a classic fighting game. It works. Right. It's amazing.
I think the fighting game genre just got shafted.
I could see that.
This, so
right. I mean, it's comparatively niche compared,
right,
to everything else. I don't think I could play I never played them, but I don't think I could ever even go back to it. The Metal Gear games, because they seem
they're so they're just bad to play now.
Yeah, right.
It's like Ocarina of Time. Great for the time. They keep remastering them though, but then it's still the same controls. It's still clunky tank controls. I don't know. They're just not fun to play now. And if you have fun with them, whatever. But to me, I don't see the appeal right now.
Right.
If I could play Metal Gear Solid 5, yeah, sure, absolutely. But
the next one, this is funny. Fortnite versus Persona 5 Royale and Persona 5 1. That's interesting.
I almost don't agree with that.
Really?
I feel like Fortnite is such an insane, but Persona 5 was literally a perfect game. Everybody who played it absolutely loved that game. I think it got 10 out of 10s and then got more 10 out of 10s when the Royal Edition came out, which just like added more scenarios and DLC and stuff. But like Fortnite is this just like started the battle royale really started the battle royale genre, right? It like innovates pretty much every season with new things. The crossover, it is like obviously like it's bigger than Smash Ultimate at this point. I don't know. It like I think it gets I don't know. It's weird.
This is why I actually agree with this, because Fortnite it keeps changing. It's redoing everything, but Persona 5 is an experience. It is, a story and whatnot. I think Fortnite, if you ask me, what's the story of Fortnite? I just play. I play battle royale. So like, there's no like they put story in there to like. Right. You know,
you know what, you're right. It's hard for a multiplayer game or an MMO or something like that, even like a fighting game, right? To like win one of these, because the experience is always different because you're online.
Right.
And like each match is different or something. Whereas like I buy Mass Effect 2, it's Mass Effect 2.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Pretty much every time, you know.
Right. Versus like if you play Fortnite this month versus like in a few months, it's gonna
this season could be perfect. Next season they take away no build mode or something, right?
Right. So, but this next, I have a big problem with this next one. Breath of the Wild versus Super Mario Galaxy. Spoilers, I am not a fan of Breath of the Wild at all. I'm a massive fan of Tears of the Kingdom, which I think just corrected every mistake that I think Breath of the Wild had made.
Right.
But Breath of the Wild versus Super Mario Galaxy, I'm sorry, I don't think it's even a contest. I think Mario Galaxy is objectively a better game.
Oh, absolutely.
Like experience, I just, I don't know. It's hard to even, I'm having a problem even discussing it.
It's this thing we say all the time is that Breath of the Wild is a good game, like a great open world game, but it's a shitty Zelda game.
Yeah, it's a garbage.
So like I know everybody sugarcoats it because it says Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. And, Link can ride a horse, like cool, like whatever. But like, I don't know. I look back at Mario Odyssey and I'm like, yeah, that's a Mario game. That's dope. Like, I want more of that.
Yeah, and then I've heard Galaxy 2 wasn't as good. I played it. I thought it was just personally, I thought it was just as good.
Right.
I just think Mario Galaxy is just a better experience. It's just so much fun. It's full of character. The boss battles were interesting. Just like just everything they did with like the gravity and stuff like that. I don't know. I think Galaxy was just a better experience.
Right.
Breath of the Wild, what are people gonna say? Oh, I really love that final boss battle. Did you though? It sucked. It was bad. It was trash.
It was bad. You shot the piggy feet and you fought Ganon 4 times.
But it beat out. I guess it's gonna win because everyone loves. I will never agree with that. Elden Ring versus GTA San Andreas. This is a very interesting matchup, and
I love that Elden Ring one.
Yeah, I'm very happy that Elden Ring won. Although I love San Andreas, especially for the time going.
Right. Looking back, San Andreas was great, right? Like, it was a good GTA game, but it had a lot of characters that are like iconic in this time, and like a lot of memes came from it and whatever. But just something about Elden Ring. From Software was literally like, yeah, us for making Dark Souls and all these games. Like, what if we do this?
Open world.
My only the only thing I don't like about like Elden Ring is like what did George R.R. Martin do?
Yeah, it really
they hyped up this George R.R. Martin thing at the height of like Game of Thrones, and then they were like, oh yeah, he made this one boss. It's like what? He wrote this lore that you're never gonna find because it's in a book and somewhere.
Because it still follows the Dark Souls logic of expressing lore through like items,
right?
But you have to be like a massive.
And I'd say Elden Ring actually does it more cutscenes and stuff than like Dark Souls, and explains a little more.
No, yeah, definitely
like
does.
Melina and all of them, right? Like, right.
I don't know what it really contributed. He did not.
They wanted just to sell it.
I'm glad Elden Ring won. I think it deserves it, but San Andreas is just a great game. I'm not sure if I could go back to it because like the old GTA games with tank controls kind of just make it not fun for me.
I can't play GTA 5. Why would I go back and play the old terrible?
But GTA 4 though, I would go back.
GTA 4 was
just
to drive through New York City again.
Wait, GTA 4 even? I was not even on here. No. That's a real crime.
That is a crime.
I'd
put 4 over 5. Honestly.
Yeah.
But
okay, Pokemon Red and Blue versus Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater.
I highly disagree. That Metal Gear Solid 3 deserves.
Red and Blue literally revolutionized
Pokemon as not a greatest game of all time. Like like, I get it. The community is toxic, cancer, terrible. But, like, come on, dude. Like, Pokemon's the highest grossing media thing ever. Right? Like,
yeah, but that game in of itself, we're judging it on, not the franchise.
But like Red and Blue has the highest nostalgia classics, right?
Right.
Like everybody looks back and is like, "Wow, Red and Blue!" Like I played that one. Nobody looks back and is like, "Oh, Black and White!" Like, whoop, that's the best one.
Yeah, I never played the Metal Gear Solid series, but I was trying to say
like the best, right? That's the one
really?
Everybody considers like the best Metal Gear game, right? But like. Pokemon, dude, like
I was gonna say, like it literally
to
started the monster entertainment genre. I think it actually, or at least one of the foundations of it. And I'm kind of surprised if it was Red versus Fire Red Leaf Green. That would be especially that would deserve it.
I feel like even if they had put like Crystal and Silver and Gold, people probably would have voted for that more for whatever reason.
Yeah, for whatever reason. That game is trash.
Oh, you can't get Gen 2 Pokemon till I'm in Kanto again. Okay, yes. Or put Heart Gold and Soul Silver at least. I would have taken that over Gen 2, but like whatever. Okay. I highly disagree, but
A Link to the Past versus Hades. One, I didn't think about Hades being on this list.
I mean, that's really cool. I don't look at Hades and I'm like greatest game of all time. Like Hades is a banger.
Yeah, right. But Link to the Past, I think, rightfully deserves it.
Link to the Past, like
arguably
art style wise, gameplay wise, map design,
everything about that game was just like perfection.
Would rather play that over Ocarina of Time.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
any day of the week.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's super fun.
Right, it holds up too. Yeah, we did a playthrough. That's right.
It was like it's just an experience. If someone asked me like, "Hey, I'm gonna get into Zelda. What's the first one I should play?" I'd say Link to the Past.
Yeah.
It's
absolutely.
You can get a hold of it. It's easy to understand. It doesn't do too much hand holding. The parts where you get confused about the Dark World, it's a banger. 10 out of 10.
Right.
So yeah, I'm glad to beat Hades. Hades got unlucky. Now this is interesting. Undertale versus Half-Life 2. Now I never played Undertale. I've heard.
I never played it.
Really?
No. Never played it.
Really?
Yeah, I wanted to.
Wow.
I've watched like playthroughs of it, but I've never like physically played it myself.
We have to add it to the backlog.
Yeah, that's
because
like one for the list.
I've only heard that just the community just ruined this game. Like it made you just feel terrible about yourself.
Yeah.
But apparently it's some super classic. Toby Keith is now like amazing music, music.
He's a composer god. At this
he did the music in Scarlet and Violet.
Yep.
Yeah. Which is kind of insane. But Half-Life 2 is just like, it's actually known as one of the best games ever made, right?
Yeah.
Like literally.
Like I said before with Portal 2, like Valve releases a game and like that's the game forever, right? Like Counter-Strike, we look back and it's like, wow.
Only
and
recently made
like
two.
Team Fortress.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is rightfully deserved. I would have been more interested if it was Hades versus Undertale, but yeah, Half-Life 2 deserves it. I had to say that. Skyrim versus Destiny 2. Why is Destiny 2 on here? Hell, what? Hold on.
Maybe like the first year of Destiny 2, sure.
Oh, really? Was it
until like Shadowkeep, I think was like when it started to downfall for Destiny 2. But like, I mean, it's Skyrim, right? Like literally
Skyrim.
Nobody knows the series as Elder Scrolls anymore. It's Skyrim.
Yeah, it's just Skyrim. I'm also kind of sad that Oblivion isn't on here. I think Skyrim is objectively like a better game. Right. Oblivion is still like iconic. What made Elder Scrolls,
right?
But anyways, yeah, Skyrim. If Destiny 2 won that, I wouldn't even like look at the rest of this list.
Right?
You good?
I was reading what the
you can read
one said. It was just like I don't know.
So the next one is Fallout 3 versus Nier Automata. I'm glad Fallout 3 won. That's a classic, a banger, everything.
Nier's incredible. Nier
never played it.
It's a really unique game. Like I've never played a game like it.
Okay.
It like mashes up a bunch of different genres into one, but it works, which is really cool. Characters are like really iconic at this point. But like Fallout 3 is Fallout 3. Like everybody talks about Fallout. It's Fallout 3 or New Vegas. Right. They're not talking about 1 or 2 or Tactics or even 4.
Me and Rob always have a discussion on what's better, Fallout 3 or New Vegas. He always says New Vegas. I always say Fallout 3.
Right.
But really, I don't think there's a wrong answer in that discussion,
Yeah, I think 3...
I hate it. What I hate about New Vegas is that it ruined the crafting system. like in terms of like the custom.
And it wasn't made by Bethesda, so like it's hard to like judge them against each other. But like for what they are, like 3 being a main series and then New Vegas being a spinoff, like they're like literally on par with each other.
I plan on replaying them because I want to play. I never played really the DLCs of either. So.
I played it for 3, I think, but yeah, I never played New Vegas's DLC.
Right. And weirdly enough, I never played 4's DLC. Isn't that crazy?
Finished 4.
Well, yeah, that's a sad part. Okay, Diablo 2 versus Super Mario Bros. 3. Huh? That is a
Diablo 2 is super iconic.
Oh yeah, like, Diablo 2. Yeah,
like,
I've always heard it as like one of the best games ever made.
Playing it now, like the HD thing that they came out with, it's I don't know. Maybe my brain can't comprehend it because it feels like it still runs in like DOS or whatever. But like. It's hard to play it when like 3 and 4 have made giant leaps technologically, like ahead of it. So, but and like Mario Bros. 3, I mean, it's Mario Bros. 3, right? 1 and 3 are like so iconic. I think Mario Bros. 3 honestly might. No, maybe Super Mario World, but like and Mario 64. Crap. It's hard to beat Mario, right? Okay, we'll get there.
Odyssey, it's like there's so many games that like Odyssey isn't on here. I mean, I'd rather.
If there's a lot, I'd switch out.
Right. Like, I'm glad Wonder isn't on here, but that's for my like. It's too soon to say how. Like, but Baldur's Gate 3 is on here, so that's not that's out the window.
I think like Animal Crossing: New Horizons, I would take that off this list. That was like completely situational. Like, I think it would have been big when it came out, but I don't think it would have been as big,
right?
Depending on the economic situation. But
anyway, last round of the first tier. The first tier. Final Fantasy. What is that one? 7 versus Xenoblade Chronicles.
7, like 7. Literally is the Final Fantasy game. Really? Like everybody thinks of Final Fantasy, it's 7. That's why they're remaking it in 3 different parts. That's why there's literally movies based off of just Final Fantasy 7.
That's the one that just came out?
Yeah. Part 2 of the remakes. Okay. Yeah, it's one with Sephiroth and Cloud. That's gotcha. One. You think of Final Fantasy, you think of those guys.
Right. But I hear like everyone says, wow, I can't believe I slept on Xenoblade Chronicles.
Xenoblade Chronicles is like literally a like 9.5 out of 10 series that like nobody plays. For, like except for like these diehard RPG fans, and it's a shame because they've all been good. Even Xenoblade Chronicles X on the Wii U that nobody played, I'm sure, other than the diehard fans. But like every game is like great, and they run perfectly on the Switch, which gives no other game the excuse of being terrible. Princess Peach. So if they can get those big giant RPG robo battle mech fights to work, there's no reason another game can't run on there.
Right. Okay, so that's all the first round picks. There some a fair amount we disagreed with. Some were like we understand. Now we're going to round 2. Region 1.
These ones should go quicker now that we've established our titans of battle here.
Witcher 3 Wild Hunt versus Wind Waker. It's unfair. Yeah, it's understand, but like in my heart,
right? Like, in my heart, Wind Waker is a better game,
right?
But realistically, Witcher, I understand.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but like, I would have said Wind Waker is a better experience, but yeah, Wild Hunt's gonna win that. There's no like, sadly,
right.
Marvel Spider-Man versus Mass Effect 2. I'm surprised that Mass Effect 2 beat this out. That is actually a clash. That's a good clash. It's a very interesting.
Like I said, when I look back at Mass Effect, I think of Mass Effect 2. Right, I think of that like suicide, the survival
unsubscribe
mission.
from life mission.
Yeah, I know. And like the Rex and all the like companions in that game and stuff. Like it makes sense, right? Like that one really made the series, I feel like.
But then Marvel Spider-Man it's a like, classic banger.
People already talk about looking back and being like, yeah, Marvel Spider-Man on PS4, like banger.
Right. So, but yeah, I am actually surprised Mass Effect 2, only because like Spider-Man holds so much weight behind it in terms of being Spider-Man. You know,
right.
You know, Spider-Man is known through comics. Everyone knows what Spider-Man is.
And then especially with how the series is now, where like if you told me they were going to make a Miles game after Spider-Man, I would have never believed it. And then like for Spider-Man 2 to be like a combo of both, and then like the Venom stuff and whatever, like oh my god, it's just like it's so good. It's so good.
So, but yeah, I mean, I'm happy Mass Effect 2 won. I'm just genuinely surprised. Right. That's how I put it. Red Dead Redemption 2 versus Shadow of the Colossus. I mean,
no contest. I like that Shadow of the Colossus made it to the second tier, but like, yeah, you're not getting any farther. Sorry.
Man, I you know, thinking back, man, Red Dead Redemption 1 though wasn't here, and that hurts. That was that game. Red Dead Redemption 1,
right. Rockstar hates Red Dead Redemption 2, but they're its greatest game of all time.
Yeah,
Whatever. I never played through Red Dead 2, so I don't know.
No, yeah,
but honestly, like Red Dead 1 and Undead Nightmare, like if you combine those two, I would put that over Red Dead 2. And that's me not playing a lot of Red Dead 2.
Right. So yeah, it's gonna be Shadow of the Colossus. That's just like complete.
Right. Yeah. The Red Dead's gone.
Yeah, Red Dead's gone.
No, Red Dead 1. So, audio listeners, Red Dead 1. Don't worry. Don't listen.
Super Mario 64 versus Metroid Prime.
Yeah,
I mean,
Mario 60. I mean, it's hard, right? We're at that point where these are the games, right? These are the greatest games. Here they are, and like Mario 64 versus Metroid Prime.
I mean,
there's people who've never heard of Metroid, or like have never played Metroid Prime or whatever, or they only play Super Metroid and that's it. So it's weird.
The good news here is that Last of Us Part 2 still it lost first round of Metroid Prime. That's the real winner of that bracket.
Right.
Yeah. So Mario 64, there's no surprise there. That's just like everyone can see that a mile away. Ocarina of Time versus God of War.
No, GTA 5.
Wait, what?
We're here.
Oh, sorry, you're right. Yeah. I'm sorry. Ocarina of Time versus GTA 5. Good.
You know what? This is the only time I'm rooting for Ocarina of Time. And, you know, I'm glad you're stomping GTA 5 out of here.
GTA 5 does not deserve it. It's funny. It's like an interesting experience, but, you know.
It's definitely a case, too, of if that was anywhere else, it would have progressed more.
Right.
But, like, good. Like,
good.
Learn your place.
Learn your place, trash.
Yeah.
GTA 5 sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one I'm actually surprised about. Resident Evil 4 versus God of War 2018.
What? God of War 1? Holy crap.
I don't know. Like, I don't agree with that, but I think people look back on Resident Evil 4 more fondly than God of War 2018.
Oh, yeah. I would say so. I mean,
God of War 2 is like landlocked to PS4, right? Like, but Resident Evil 4 is literally on everything. They've remastered, remade, done everything to that game to make sure everyone can play. It's on iPhone. It's literally on iPhone.
Yeah. I really should pick it up when it's on sale.
Right.
I never played a Resident Evil game.
Yeah. I mean, 4 is like the one to start.
Yeah. Let's see. Chrono Trigger.
I'm super happy about it.
Yeah, nice Old Republic. Wow.
Nice Old Republic beat Chrono Trigger. I mean, it's one of those things I'm sure more people have. Not a lot of people have played either of those games, I'm sure. Or like a small majority have, but like. More people probably played Star Wars just because it says Star Wars versus Chrono Trigger. So, and Chrono Trigger was like a hard game, I think, to find for the Super Nintendo. So, like, not many people could actually acquire it,
right?
I believe, especially now. Like, Chrono Trigger is a very expensive game, but
okay, yeah. So, I mean, yeah, cool. Nice Old Republic one.
Good for them. I'm glad they're like tier 3 now. Like, good for them.
Super Mario World versus Baldur's Gate 3. God, this is such
I would say Mario, but like I get Baldur's Gate, but again I think it's just too soon.
Right. Yeah.
Like the hype is still there. It's only been out for a year, so like the hype's still there. So
my rule would be 2 years is like
the cutoff.
Right. So it won. Baldur's Gate 3 beat Super Mario World. Again, I feel like because everyone is still playing that with people and stuff like that currently. Right. But I'd love to see like looking back, like was Baldur's Gate 3 like that phenomenal, you know?
Right.
Okay, so the next up is Last of Us Portal 2. That's a great matchup, but Last of Us 1 is one of the very, 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 very few games that actually made me feel something from a video game.
Right.
Like, I think a lot of people exaggerate, like, oh, this really, you know, like, touched my soul. And it's like Hades. Like, really, really, like, how? But Last of Us, holy crap, that was a journey. And, but versus Portal 2, like, it's an interesting matchup, but I don't think it's like
The Last of Us, like literally. Yeah. When I think of a 10 out of 10 game, I think of The Last of Us.
That's probably that'd probably be like my 4th or 5th pick for like top 5. But Last of Us totally deserves that win. BioShock versus Arkham City. BioShock beat Arkham City.
Dude, I've got to play through BioShock 1 again. Like I love the BioShock series, but
really,
I don't know. That's a weird like underdog tier right there. That bracket section, right? Like
the underdog.
Like they're not getting any farther after this, but like, I mean, it's cool. Next one up is Tetris versus Metal Gear Solid and Metal Gear 1.
Those ones are just wacky, but
I mean, I honestly don't agree. I think Tetris beats that out, but I mean, maybe more people do like Metal Gear, so good for them.
I guess. With more substance, right? It has a story. Tetris is literally just blocks.
Right.
But still, it's a classic. Persona 5 Royale versus Breath of the Wild.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree that Zelda won. Especially...
Dude, hacked. Dude, sold the vote?
So, you know what? I 100% agree that, like, paid... the hell are they called? Reviews. When that game came out. Because if you played that game on the Switch, there were frame rate issues. There's no way that game is a 10 out of 10 any time of the day. Persona 5 is a 10 out of 10 game. I mean, it's not for everybody, but that game-wise, for what it is, it's a 10 out of 10 game. And the fact that the Wii U ran Breath of the Wild better than the Switch,
right?
Like, you know, like, but is it really 10 out of 10?
Look, I'm sorry, but Breath of the Wild just has a garbage story. Garbage. That's why it doesn't feel like a Zelda game. Its story is abysmal at best.
I don't think it's a story. I think it like finding the champions and fighting Ganon, right? That's fine. Those key points are fine. It's that there's no dungeons to get to these champions.
Oh, there's there's dungeons.
No, we don't. Those are not dungeons. The Divine Beasts are puzzles that use the Switch gyroscope way too many times. And then every boss is Ganon.
Corrupt Ganon on like a...
There's no real like item upgrades. There's no like...
Hey, there's not.
There's too much wrong with it to be a Zelda game. Again, good open world game, but like... It's just a fundamental issue with it.
Right. So. They took the lazy approach of let's have the same boss design and then recycle it, change it a little bit and call it, right. That's why I just don't consider it a Zelda game. Great. Again, amazing open world game. What they did, what they were able to do on the Switch and Wii U is like mind blowing.
Right.
But no, that is,
no.
Whatever.
But it wins. It advances.
Elden Ring versus Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater.
Elden Ring wins. I'm happy with that.
I can live with that. That's Elden, seamless co-op playthrough. Everyone watch.
Yeah, check it out.
Chill. All right, Link to the Past versus Half-Life 2. Okay, I'm very happy. Link to the Past 1. I'm surprised.
Yeah, that was like what Spider-Man and Mass Effect 2. That's a battle of the titans. But like,
right.
I'm glad Zelda won.
Yeah, it like rightfully deserved, but I'm still surprised that because Half-Life 2, I've only heard like best game ever. All right, so
this is Bethesda versus Bethesda. Dude, Skyrim versus Fallout 3.
My brother.
I'm sorry. You're finally awake.
Yeah, that God.
It's rough because they're both phenomenal, right?
Yeah, they're
like when you think of Fallout, you think Fallout 3. When you think of Elder Scrolls, you think of Skyrim.
Right.
But like, I mean, Skyrim is it's too big. There's a reason they put it on everything.
Literally in Alexa.
Right. So. Yeah,
it's rightfully deserved. It just hurts,
Right,
right. It hurts. It hurts.
Hard.
It's like I don't know. It's like when that stupid like in medical dramas, like you have twins and same disease somehow, and only one can live.
Right.
It's like,
right.
And you put Skyrim Fallout 3 there. It's just like Skyrim.
I'm choosing Skyrim.
I'm choosing Skyrim.
Bye, my child.
Super Mario Bros. 3 versus Final Fantasy 7. That's what the Throne Mario Bros. Is. Final Fantasy 7, huh?
I guess so. Yeah. I mean, I see the hype, I guess, but like it's stupid how much hype that game gets when there's other just as good Final Fantasy games that have come out. So, okay, all right. Well, that's our second seed done.
Second seed, third seed, the quarterfinals.
Yeah. All right, we're on to like big ones. So,
Wild Hunt versus Red Dead Redemption 2.
No, this one. This one.
Wild Hunt versus Mass Effect 2. I just said the 2 words wrong, but
that. I would say Mass Effect, but again, like I Witcher 3 was such a big phenomenon.
Right.
I understand it, but and that was at the time when CD Projekt Red was this like hyped as this 10 out of 10 studio, right? Like never made an issue. And then Cyberpunk came out and ruined everything.
But then they turned it around.
Apparently, yeah. Apparently it's great now with that new DLC and everything. So I don't know. But I mean, I'd like to have seen Mass Effect 2 win, but
it hurts seeing it lose, but at least it made it to seed 3.
Right.
I'm kind of surprised, but it started what he went against that I got this for. But it's like
it beat out some heavy hitters, so yeah, I mean, good for them.
But I think Mass Effect 2 is like in the perfect spot where it deserves to be.
Right.
Right. It just
like
weird.
If I were to make a list, Mass Effect 2 would be like there somewhere. Yeah.
Okay, so now it's Red Dead Redemption 2 versus Mario Bros. 64.
It's hard.
It's a very odd comparison, but like, yeah, again, you take nostalgia glasses off, the 64, Mario 64 just does not play well.
Right. It doesn't hold up. I think for speedrunners who play it every day, and if you were someone who plays it like once a month, then yeah, sure, like you're not gonna have problems with it. But like Red Dead 2, I think just generally,
it's just like
is a better game.
I've heard apparently
that will hold up down the road.
Yeah, it's like an emotional journey. Like I really want to complete it, but I can see it dethroning 64. 64 might be a classic, but Red Dead Redemption 2 is just filled with game that they refuse to update and provide for. Right. They refuse to get. I don't know, dude. It's just so weird. Oh no, actually I know why, because GTA makes too much money, so they just don't give a crap. Right. All right, so then Ocarina of Time versus God of War. I'm happy Ocarina of Time won that. I think it deserves it, actually.
I would say yes. Yeah. Versus God of War there. Yeah, absolutely.
I
think Ocarina is actually like taking out these like evil titans, right? Like GTA 5, bye-bye. I think Call of Duty was the only one I'm like upset it beat so far.
Right. Activision's the villain, but the Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare was
right.
Yeah.
But like God of War beating out Resident Evil 4, I don't see that in any world.
But yeah, Ocarina,
but Ocarina beating it out, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense.
This I'm sad about, but like I'm glad Knights of the Old Republic made it to tier 3 versus Baldur's Gate 3. I mean, again, Baldur's Gate is this like super hyped game right now, so like cool, whatever. But
I just don't think it should be in the list.
We give us a couple years and let's try this again and see where Baldur's Gate falls.
Right,
especially with it not getting DLC or anything now. So like that game is like done.
Right, it is done. Right, it might get like quality of life updates in terms of like maybe bug fixes, but no DLC. Next up, Last of Us versus BioShock. Finally, BioShock
is gone now, but like I'm going home and re-downloading BioShock because I need to see what the like I like can't like I remember parts of BioShock 1, but I can't think of as a whole that I would see it going up against like Last of Us as a game of all time, right? Like I don't know.
But, Last of Us is just almost unstoppable. It's like it got the perfect seed. The perfect bracket to go against, or more or less. So yeah, Last of Us beat BioShock. That's fair.
Bye-bye.
Gears, Metal Gear Solid Breath of the Wild.
I don't agree Breath of the Wild is this great game, but like Metal Gear is definitely not.
Right. If I would take away the Zelda part, it's just a better game.
Right.
Yeah. An open world experience, super fun, the wacky stuff you can do. Elden Ring versus Link to the Past. Man, that is like an insane fight.
That's a god battle. We're not on Titans anymore. These are the god battles.
Yeah, just the Elden Ring music plays. That's
But I mean, like it's hard, and
because Link to the Past has actually been voted game of the one of the best games ever made. Like it's been declared in multiple votes in ways, but Elden Ring dethroning it is slightly surprising, but also not surprising.
Right,
it is just a phenomenal experience.
Yeah,
it is like the alternate to. So like when you play a Legend of Zelda game, it's like for the adventure, like the hero journey.
Right.
Elden Ring is like that, but in the darkest ways possible.
Right. So
Elden
Ring is getting DLC soon, so it might expand it more and make it like even a better game, right?
I'd imagine. So I have very high hopes.
Right. So
like it's cool that it won. Very interesting.
Right. I wouldn't have been upset at the outcome either way of that one.
Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. You go talk about the next one.
Next one's Skyrim versus Final Fantasy VII. This is like another one that's like this whole bracket right here. These last two is like Battle of the Gods because like I said, Final Fantasy VII is like Final Fantasy. You think of Final Fantasy, you think of Sephiroth, Cloud, whatever. But Skyrim, I mean, like it's memes. It's a culture. It's on every system. I mean, even like Final Fantasy is on every system. Like those two games, I look at those two games, they're on the same pedestal. Skyrim did win it. I mean, I'm not upset about it. I again, like I said before, I think Final Fantasy as a series has really good entries that get overshadowed because everybody's just like, I want 7 again. And that's it. Right? Like, so I'm happy Skyrim won it. So
I want to bring this up. I should probably brought it up before, but when it came to Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater versus Pokemon, it won by 12 votes. So like it was almost a dead
it was
tie.
close.
I mean, that's closer than close. I would almost go for a revote, but obviously, you know. But then also, the Metroid Prime for Last of Us Part 2 was also one of the closest by 23 votes. But that's a good timeline because they deserve the win. I just wanted to mention that. That was funny.
All right, so we're back up here. Next is Witcher 3 versus we're in quarterfinals now.
Yeah.
So Witcher 3 versus Red Dead 2. I mean,
Red Dead 2.
Yeah, I don't see a problem with that outcome.
Right.
I mean, the only problem, right, is that like that was a game like Baldur's Gate where like that's it, we're done, nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
So, but Red Dead got online, and even though it doesn't get updated, it has it. You know,
right. It has multiplayer functions.
Right. It has more to offer than Witcher does. So.
Yeah, it's like a rightful win.
Right.
I mean, two titans, two gods of. So there was no bad winner. It's just, but I think rightfully so. Red Dead Redemption 2 got it.
Right.
All right. Ocarina of Time versus Baldur's Gate 3. Okay. I mean, again, Baldur's Gate 3 don't believe it should be here, but I'm not surprised. Ocarina of Time is just
it just makes sense. Right. I guess.
I mean, timeline. Obviously, you can see in the middle it overall won, but we'll talk about that.
Right.
But it's just like it's a hero's journey. It's just hard to play now. Baldur's Gate 3, everyone's playing it. Right. Then there's Last of Us versus Breath of the Wild.
100%.
Thankfully, Last of Us one. Oh my God. Perfection.
Yeah.
Perfection.
Yeah.
I can't get over that. Yeah. Thank you, Last of Us. You've
done a duty.
You've done a duty. I will fight till my death that Breath of the Wild is just not a good game.
Right.
Okay, so then let's see here.
Elden Ring versus Skyrim. I mean, even like the last one, Skyrim versus Final Fantasy 7. Like Elden Ring versus Skyrim, like
that's like Pops versus the anti-Pops from
regular show.
Regular show. There's like two equal forces
battling.
but like,
I think it makes sense. I think Skyrim just like in the not economic. What is it called? Like in the community of gamers, right? Like people make Skyrim memes and stuff.
Right.
We'll remember Skyrim down the road far more, I think.
Right. The way I see it, at least with Skyrim, it's that like it has more of the RPG elements that people want. Like there's like actual quests with options with different outcomes.
Right.
Charisma system.
Like side quests. There's like the classes and stuff like that. Mm. Like like it does what Elden Ring does, but
a simpler but more
friendly,
complex,
user friendly way.
Right. So it is a classic. Maybe in like 5-10 years, because Skyrim is really old.
Right.
Elden Ring could be viewed as like that staple, but Skyrim is just a monster.
Right.
And it's just, I mean, me and Derek just get that itch like once a year. We're like, I want to play Skyrim.
Yeah. I played through it. Not last year, but the year before again. And honestly, I've been getting that itch to like play it again. So
Stealth Archer.
I know, Stealth Archer again.
Yes. So, oh my God, Stealth Archer.
It's just a game you can go back and just play and always have fun with, right?
Because you can pick it up, like with Elden Ring. If you just stop playing for a few months, you pick it up like, where do I go?
Oh yeah,
Skyrim. It's very like hand holdy. Like here's your quest log.
Right.
Do you want to go here?
Yeah, here. Here's the main quest, but then here's 30 others that you could do.
You could do.
And you can just do whatever you want. Go ahead.
You can also break the game if you really want to. Yeah,
right.
So I'm not surprised by that. It's just a very cool battle to see.
Yeah.
I would love to know the votes. I wish they had a vote breakdown for each of these. That would have been
like for these last four at least.
Right. All right. So now we're in the finals.
Yeah, final four.
Red Dead Redemption 2 versus Ocarina of Time. That is
I mean, again, I like Ocarina wins the whole thing, right? Like it's on the screen there, but like I almost don't agree with it, but I can see why, right? Like Ocarina of Time made all these advances back in the day. It it was truly like one of the first, I feel like, open world games, right? Without being too like demanding on quests and stuff like that.
Right.
It's hard. It's hard for me to accept that, and it's hard for me to be like when I think greatest game of all time, I can't go back and play Ocarina of Time comfortably.
What about the 3DS?
even then, like it fixed a lot of problems, but like the core controls were still clunky.
Tanky. Yeah.
But like Skyrim, like 20 years from now, I could go back and play Skyrim and be happy. Last of Us, I could go back and be happy. Like Red Dead 2, I could probably go back and be like, why didn't they ever do anything about this game? But like, like Ocarina of Time, like I don't know. I think that nostalgia glasses are cemented on, and that's just how it always will be. Right. Unfortunately, so.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah. I agree with that. And then Last of Us versus Skyrim, man, that is rough.
And that's just like
that is such a.
And you know what's crazy? I don't even think Skyrim got 10 out of 10 reviews across the board when it came out. Right. Like I think Skyrim was a solid like 7 to 9 everywhere.
Really?
Review wise, I don't know. I like feel like that was the case, but I could be misremembering. It's been 20 years since it came out originally. But like Last of Us, like.
Universal acclaim.
Right. I thought it was like Game of the Year, then it got remastered, was Game of the Year again. Then
it got mostly 10 out of 10. So
No, I mean Skyrim.
Skyrim, sorry.
Right. Like, okay. But then like Skyrim wins this, right? Last of Us versus Skyrim. Skyrim wins this. But like just again, the influence on the gaming universe that Skyrim has had is literally like everybody knows Skyrim. Everybody knows Elder Scrolls because of Skyrim. It's not even the Elder Scrolls anymore. It's Skyrim.
It's always Skyrim.
So
here's some good news. PC Gamer put a review 5 days ago from this recording
saying it was a 94. What was it originally though? That's what I'm wondering.
Right. That's
360 reviews. Look up the 360 reviews.
That's a unreleased. Oh, here we go. 2011. This is 9. IGN gave it a 9.5. Let's see, reviews on Xbox 360 where it deserved to be.
Right.
That's IGN, Metacritic
96. Maybe it did get amazing reviews when it came out. I just thought it was a little less. 2019.
Is getting Skyrim for Xbox 360 still worth it? It's always worth it.
Of course it is.
Of course it is. RPG worth playing. What did Game Form originally give it?
Give it a 10.
Probably, I'd imagine 9.5. Yeah. I mean, replay hot. Yeah, I mean, 9 to 10 is just the realm.
Okay. Kind of I mean, so Skyrim was up there too. So I mean, it makes sense. But like Skyrim is just it's everywhere. Last of Us has that problem again that like God of War had versus Resident Evil, where like it's landlocked. So like I think it makes more sense that more people have played Skyrim.
Well, to be fair, I mean, Last of Us is now on PC.
Right,
so
but for the time,
right.
Like,
okay,
it was unlocked to PS3, then PS4. So if you didn't own a PlayStation, if you didn't own a PS3, you never got to play that game. I'm sorry. It's like,
that was
actually a crime.
That was a system seller,
right?
Like,
that sold PS3s, and then they were like, "Oh, we're remastering it for PS4," and then it sold PS4s. So I mean, it's insane,
right? And that's such a heartfelt loss. But Skyrim is just like this. It's this universe, this world that it is. You can be what you want to be and be on an adventure.
Right.
But Last of Us is like, I'm going to pull on your heartstrings and make you question what love in life is.
Right. Exactly.
Do you still want to exist after me? I don't know. I don't know. The ending was super controversial in the sense of
the whole beginning scene, right? Of Last of Us
just
in that truck.
You're his daughter.
Yeah, here's your daughter. It's a normal day. Zombie outbreak. What? Drive away. What? Your brother's here. What? Your daughter just got shot.
The zombies get my family, right? Nope. It's
a human.
It's human.
It's a cop.
The douchey cop.
Yeah. And then the final battle at Titans, Ocarina of Time versus Skyrim, and like we said, Ocarina won.
I don't agree with this.
I definitely don't agree with that. Again, the nostalgia glasses are too cemented on. I think we need to take a step back, right? Like for all these years, Ocarina of Time keeps winning this like greatest game of all time tussle. But like, I don't know. Like take a step back, go play Ocarina of Time this year if you can, and just come back and rethink your life.
I definitely won't emulate it. 100. Don't.
Right. I have my N60. I mean, I do.
Oh, you play on Switch.
It's on the Switch Online.
But the Switch Online. The Switch Online might actually make your decision say this game sucks.
You'd be like, oh my god, you're right. Right.
Because the latency and everything just sucks.
But I mean,
I think Skyrim should have. Well,
And it's not any. Another thing too is like Ocarina of Time, and maybe because I wasn't there for it, but like Ocarina of Time also like it wasn't like it kickstarted Zelda, right? Like Zelda was big for 1 and 2, and then Link to the Past, right? Like Zelda was a big series for Nintendo. I mean, I guess
it grew after Link of the Past, but the 3D jump really made it explode into popularity.
Well, it happened with Mario too, right? Like Mario 64 was like a huge jump and boosted that. But I would accept that as like a Nintendo 64 thing and technological advances, not just like Ocarina of Time. Because you could say that about like Mario 64 or Legend of Zelda or like even Donkey Kong 64 people look back on more than like Donkey Kong Country.
Donkey Kong
right?
Country isn't on here. Or Donkey Kong Country 2, I think, is the like.
Yeah, Donkey Kong got shafted. There's a lot of games I would take off and put on this list, but
that I was gonna say ideally I think it should be Red Dead Redemption 2 in 4th, Ocarina of Time 3,
right, Last of Us 2,
Skyrim 1. Yeah, because while Last of Us is like an emotional journey, and 10 out of 10. I get the itch to play Skyrim every year, and that's just
Skyrim
like
I get the itch for.
Yeah.
Last of Us, I have just recently gotten the itch for, and I like am waiting for the PS5 version to like go on sale to get. But at the same time, like Skyrim, like I've been contemplating buying it for a 7th time now on the Switch, just so I could have the Master Sword.
Yeah, I have it on the Switch. It runs actually really well. Like,
right? I've heard no performance issues. They've optimized it really well. I mean, it's a 360 game. It can run on a potato,
and it has other amiibo support than just the Master Sword. Yeah, you can like get chess on it, and on the Switch you can use the Joy-Con to play as motion control.
Right? It's just
wait, hold on. I want us to play it with VR. That's the real journey that I want to try.
I think I have it for VR for first PlayStation VR.
Yeah, I'd love to try that.
Yeah, I kind of hope they. Honestly, another version of Skyrim. Here we go. I kind of hope they release it for the PSVR too, so it just like runs and controls better. But maybe like I wonder if it's on like I'll have to look into it. We'll look into like if it's on the MetaQuest or anything that like maybe will run better but be easier to use or something.
Maybe that could be like a donation goal, just like
VR, just set up for us. That would be cool.
And then, no offense, realistically, it might have to go to me because my PC would run it. Because VR.
Oh no, absolutely. Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, but like we could do it while we're like together and stuff.
Right.
Like,
oh my god, my nose. So like I think looking at all of them, I mean obviously there are ones that
final two. I'd give it to Skyrim.
Actually, I mean, I based my top 4 based on what I'm seeing here, but when I look at this whole list, I honestly think, and now this is me being totally biased, that Halo 3 should at least be in 4th. I'm sorry, like I just like Halo.
I think as a multiplayer game, absolutely.
Yeah, I'd put this. I think the biggest, I want to say biggest losers.
Right.
The biggest losers or upsets, I would say, is Halo 3.
Yeah.
I mean, my heart says Smash Ultimate. It's just like
I wouldn't think that's crazy though. It's the greatest fighting crossover game ever.
Right. It's not fighting in Derek. It's a party game.
Sorry,
party.
But like it's like iconic for like, oh my god, it's a crossover. Right. And it you can't even say it's a crossover of just Nintendo. Like it's a crossover.
It is everything.
People might hate it. I still don't think like Fortnite deserves to lose bracket 1. I think it got a really bad set, right? Like against Persona. I see the loss there.
Right. Like if it went against like Dragon Age Origin, I'd say Fortnite. Right. If it went against I mean, I'd say Destiny 2. I'd say, I'd say Fortnite would win it. There's definitely a couple they would, beat, obviously, but to me, I think Halo 3 losing first round doesn't make any sense.
Minecraft losing first round?
That's
that in any timeline here.
A BioShock employee at like Game Forum, he's like, I'm switching the votes. Yeah, there's no way.
Right. Oh, look at that. BioShock 1.
That's crazy, but it's like, I can't do it again.
But yeah, I mean, most of the other stuff, for what's on here, I agree with. There's games I wouldn't put on here that are on here that I would swap out.
Mm-hmm.
Pokemon though, I don't agree with that at all. No, you Metal Gear fans, you Kojima suckers are like actually brainwashed to think that Red and Blue isn't like one of the greatest games.
I want to clarify. I personally would swap out Red and Blue with Ruby and Sapphire.
Yeah, put Ruby and Sapphire. Yeah, I think that's really where Pokemon shine. I think to captivate the audience, Gold and Silver should have been the one. because that's the one everybody says. Everybody, has a bad opinion. But you can't tell me. I would take Metal Gear Solid 1 off and put 3 up there, and then put something else there too. Like Metal Gear Solid 1. I think more people talk about Snake Eater than 1, but whatever. I mean, yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about this list. It's.
I'm still upset Halo 3 lost to GTA 5. If everything could have lost against like GTA 5, what's wrong with you people?
I know.
Get really. This is to you. Anyone who's listening, if you say GTA 5 is the better game, come at me. Literally, type to me in go join our Discord, Toll Shill, and tell me why you think GTA 5 is a better game. Because the soundtrack, Halo 3, the characters, Halo 3, the co-op Halo 3,
the multiplayer. I'd rather play Halo. I'd go back play the 360 version of Halo 3 multiplayer versus GTA 5 on any system.
Just like it, we got to play Halo 3 now, but we'll finish the last one.
Yeah.
Like that's just that hurts my heart. I love that Fallout 3 went against Skyrim. That's just funny to me.
Yeah.
New Vegas was on here, right?
New Vegas, yeah.
Yeah. I like how all 3 of those were like on this list. New Vegas, Fallout 3.
Bethesda had a limelight. I agree. Oblivion should have just been on this list too, because that was like the golden era, of Bethesda games, right?
Or I thought it kicked it off. Oblivion, then to Fallout 3 to Vegas to Skyrim. I think that's how it went. Yeah. It's just Last of Us thing got great spot. Like that's where it deserved, no matter where it was going to be in the brackets.
Right.
At least a grand finalist / grand finalist at least.
Right.
Breath of the Wild, God, it hurts my soul that it's so far ahead.
Yeah.
That hurts me, but it also went against these like Mario Galaxy. Like I don't know. I don't like how Breath of the Wild. That one I think is the worst like lineup I've seen.
Right.
Breath of the Wild, BLDs, then it took Last of Us to dethrone it. So like, I'd say like I'm okay with like 80% of the choices.
Right.
I wonder how they were picked. Was it voted on like the initial
the initial choices? Maybe they did it from last year or something. I don't know.
How was Game Informer game of greatest game of all time conducted, I guess. 300 games, that's 2018. I wish I knew it was happening and I could have like participated. 200,000 votes.
Right.
Last time I did it was in 2018. 64. Anyway, blowouts. Blah blah blah. It doesn't tell me how it like. How it was chosen.
Maybe it was just on their end for like the highest reviewed ones.
Oh, maybe
done. Or
something. I can see that because I don't do any of these numbers repeat. The like one. Oh no, it's 1 16 16. What is that number?
I think it's in that region. There's like 16. So it's like the seed
okay, cool. Yeah, so like I think Smash Ultimate should have got higher up. New Horizons stays where it is.
Yeah.
Pac-Man, deserved that, but like overall, like I think
Final Four is fine. I think the order is wrong.
I get what you're saying, but I think Halo 3 should be up there. I really do.
Yeah.
It's just oh man. Whew, I'm getting nostalgic. Oh my god. Whew. You got anything else to say before we call this one?
Nah, I think that's it.
Okay, well, hey, everyone, let us know what you think, like, in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you think we have bad takes? Do we have good takes?
Right.
Let us know in the comments below.
Maybe we'll make our own bracket of this at some point and do it, like, our Goons greatest games of all time.
It would need to be where it's, like, it would need to be a pre-selected list. I wouldn't want to select the list. I would want, like, top 100 reviewed games.
Like, we've done that. We did a tier list of that, like, a long time ago.
I get that, but I mean, like, I'd want something to then scramble the bracket.
Oh, you can have it do that in like a program, I'm sure, right? Like if we pick 64 games and put them in, and then it's like, all right, go. And
see, but like, I don't want us to pick the game. I'd want a community to pick the games.
Oh no, I think that's based on us. I don't think that's a community thing.
Really?
I think the votes can be like if we want a community vote section, like they do for like the Game Awards. But I mean, they could put input because I can tell you right now, there's probably like. I'd pick like 16 games and be at a loss to pick more. So like they could fill in the blanks or something, but
hey. Well, that's it for this episode. Probably one of our longest 2-person episodes ever. Again, watch. Well, wait. I don't have to go through that. You all saw it at the beginning. Like, comment, subscribe, become a member today. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye-bye.